I'm Agata Stasińska. I'm the conference coordinator of this conference and a research officer in the Families of Choice research project. And it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you here. I'm really amazed that everybody is here. So, and I thank you for taking this all really long journey from wherever you came here. And I would say a few words and then give my voice to Joanna. The callful papers for this event met with huge interest, and we received over 200 submissions, and we could only accommodate only a quarter of them. That's you guys, most of you. We treat this large number of submissions as a sign of amazing interest on the subject of queer and kinship and relationships, and need for such a gathering of researchers and theorists working on this topic. We are also very glad that we managed to give 15 fee waivers and some travel bursaries, mostly for those coming from less privileged countries and in precarious academic situation. Giving everyone a chance to participate in this event was very important to us. As you may see, organizing a conference outside the academia and big cities was our dream, but also posed a logistic challenge. I'm therefore very happy that everyone managed to come, even though the trip was very hard, and I hope that you will feel it's worth it and you will have time to relax as well, not only run from the bus and somewhere else. I would like to thank you people that with whom we organized this event. First, I would like to thank the academic and non-academic staff from our institute, the Institute of Psychology, Polish Academy of Science, for the administrative and academic support of this event. Secondly, I would like to thank the secretary of the conference, who's, I don't know where, he lost himself, Piotr Jędrzejowski, and the team of Szóstow Kultura and Komunikacja for producing with us this event and cooperation during the last months. And thirdly, I would like to thank my colleagues from the research team who in many different ways supported the organization of this event. And last but not least, I would like to give my most gratitude to Joanna Mizielińska, who is the principal investigator of Families of Choice in Poland research grants and the initiator of this event. And also I would thank you for being here. You're the essence of this event, and our most gratitude goes to you for being interested and participating in it. And I hope you will enjoy the conference and this wonderful venue that we are meeting today. And now I would give my voice to Joanna. She will say a few words.
So, I would like to thank you, Agata, for coordinating such a challenging event as this conference. I would like to welcome all of you at the conference, which is held as a part of our ongoing research project, Families of Choice in Poland. I will tell you more about the project tomorrow with a joint presentation of my research team, but it is worth mentioning already that this project is very important to me and to us on many levels, personal, academic, and political. The project research is the first extensive attempt to show the diversity of functioning and functionality of new forms of non-heterosexual relationships, which in Poland are still deprived of the right to be called families and are now legally and socially recognized. Very often we hear opinions that usually condemn atypical forms of families as dysfunctional, useless, unnatural, without any attempt to get to know them better and to understand their character. This attitude, prevalent in Poland, both in academia and politics, mainstream media, causes only damages and further marginalization of non-normative relationships. So, by conducting this research, we wanted to demonstrate diverse forms of non-heterosexual family life, assuming that the best informants will be those who create and live in such family arrangements. Thus, our aim was and is to influence the level of public debates in Poland by making so far silenced or condemned issues more intelligible. Also, we want to underline the urgent necessity even, of reformulating the very concept of family in social sciences and mainstream life in Poland. Not only we want to fulfill deficit of knowledge and research on this phenomenon in Poland, but also to fill the gap in the European or Western social sciences and humanities that has not included Polish or wider Central and European and Eastern European perspective so far, partly due to the lack of theoretical and practical material that could be used in such a comparative work. So we hope that our work could become a great starting point for the future comparative investigations for other scholars and open up new horizons in the international and interdisciplinary studies. The idea of this conference is deeply rooted in the idea of the project. By organizing this conference, we wanted to problematize the hegemony of Western paradigms within the field of queer kinship, that on the one hand enables us to find a right framework, excellent ideas, to conduct our research elsewhere, but on the other, very often becomes too narrow and starts to limit, restrict us, because it ignores the importance of specificity of local context and make false generalization or assumption about the kinship life elsewhere. So as we wrote in our call for paper, the once original body of work has now become canonical and mandatory point of reference for subsequent researchers. Canonization, however, presents us with the obvious perils of hegemonization and domination of theories and that perhaps do not necessarily fit into the diverse social and cultural realities, end of quote. That's why it was so important for us to go beyond Western paradigm and invite key speakers and presenters from diverse locations to discuss many ways of how people do kinship and relationships around the world. I do hope that during the conference we will discover together different understanding of queer kinship relationships and gain more insights into the dynamic of non-normative kinship configuration in various, in diverse geo-temporal contexts. One last remark about why we decided to organize this conference here. In moving the conference from the academic space and the busy metropolis, we have been inspired by first queer conferences which took place in Poland in June 2000 in Szczyrk and in 2001 in Karpacz, small towns in the south of Poland, in which I participated, and maybe some of you, I'm sure, Tomek is here, who organized it, and which had this somehow subversive, even partisan character. Then those conferences were organized every year also in big cities all around Poland. In my memory, I treasured the experience of those first ones, since they offer a unique opportunity to be really together, often living together at the conference venue. Being cut off of many distractors or duties help us to concentrate on being here and now, discover our similarities and differences on much deeper level, experiencing our academic and not only relationality. It was an experience full of enthusiasm and intellectual insights. On the personal level, it allowed me for the first time to feel a part of a much larger group interested in queer theory in Poland. As the organizers wrote in the first book that collected papers from those conferences, and I quote, "The volume, but also conferences, testify to the fact that there are many people who care about queer." I do hope that even if you are human beings who are addicted to big cities, you will all find academic inspiration and fulfillment during those forthcoming days comparable to those I once found. And at the end, unfortunately, it is not my pleasure to announce or to announce this sad information. Unfortunately, due to her sudden illness, Judith Butler has canceled her trip to Poland at the very last moment. And I have the letter she sent us, so I will read it to you, and then maybe we will all forward the letter to you. I'm so very sorry not to be able to travel to Poland at this time. I came down with bronchial infection and I'm not able to travel with this condition. I had counted on taking part in your conference and made the arrangements to come there far in advance. I'm grateful to Joanna Mizielińska for all that she did to facilitate my visit. One reason I very much wanted to come to your conference. It was simply that I want to be part of your movement to secure rights of intimacy and rights of parenthood for gay, lesbian, trans, and genderqueer people. I'm aware that this struggle continues in different ways throughout the world. Sometimes we have to struggle against religious authorities who claim that we are sinful or wrong. Other times we have to struggle against psychiatric and social work authorities who either claim we are ill or that we will do harm to the children we raise. And sometimes those authorities work together in a form of religious psychiatry or psychiatric in order to nullify our desires, relationships, and our efforts to build our own families and kinship relations. Sometimes we are said to be criminal, other times we are said to be irresponsible, and yet other times we are said to be pathological. So that means that the struggle we undertake must focus on the law in order to achieve the decriminalization, and to focus on religious and moral prejudice to dispute the claim that we are irresponsible, and to focus as well on psychiatry to debunk and refute any claim that we are pathological. It is doubtless important to remember that in order to persist in any of these struggles, it is extremely important that a political network be established with the capacity to set and achieve goals, to intervene in the media presentation of these issues, to marshal international sources of support, without losing sight of the local and regional character of your struggle, to cite sociological research and psychosocial materials that contest the prejudicial forms of psychology and psychiatry recruited to support efforts at pathologization. What this means is that we struggle to have forms of queer intimacy recognized and supported in public life, but the community that we need in order to wage the struggle must be much more vast than the intimate one for which we struggle. In other words, the movement for intimate rights cannot be based only on intimate communities, but must cross borders and institutions and become a broadly based struggle. It is clear that no one model of struggle can be the one for Poland to follow. You have there your own forms of conservatism and homophobia, your own history of nationalism and its relation to the Catholic Church. The US is not a model, this we know. At the same time, it makes no sense to refuse all forms of human rights discourse if they can help you. Finally, we have to ask ourselves always what it is what we want and what form the satisfaction of our desire would take. Are we looking for satisfaction? Do we have a specific idea of parenthood in mind or a specific idea of the family? Here, I would suggest that for the queer movement to remain radical, we have to work inside and outside the law, since not all of our intimate associations seek recognition by the law. Of course, sometimes we require legal recognition, but sometimes we want to stay living and loving in extra-juridical zones. Any struggle for legal rights must use a wide range of resources, drawing on feminist theory, gay and lesbian history, the field of gender and sexuality rights, including rights to intimacy and association. At the same time, if we find ourselves becoming a purely legal movement, we won't be able to imagine the political shape of our future outside or beyond the law. We wish to be legally recognized, but we do not wish to define ourselves fully inside the terms of the law. So how, in the midst of such an important struggle for legal enfranchisement, do we keep our political imagination open, refusing to succumb to definitions of who we are that restrict how we might imagine ourselves? I'm most disappointed and sorry not to be there with you. I send you my solidarity and my admiration. Judith Butler. I know that it is a great disappointment for you, and I think that we can only wish Judith Butler to get better soon. And I do think that she will be present in spirit with us. We tried to check if a Skype presentation was possible, but she's really ill and she couldn't do it. That means that you will have your morning free to enjoy. So there are some bright sides of this sad information. So just, enjoy the place in the morning, and you can, take a kayak, swim, take a bicycle, explore, the landscape. Yes. So that's it. And now I would like to welcome you once again, and we can go to have a dinner finally.